Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Our next weather maker is going to bring us some cooler temperatures this afternoon, but also some sunny skies. I'll talk about when we could see a big drop in our temperature early next week.
Also, flight cuts coming. The government shutdown could affect your holiday travel plans. How officials plan to implement flight cuts nationwide without causing chaos at airports.
And more mental health services. Today, WakeMed breaking ground on a new facility specifically to help with mental health. The growing needs set to serve across the Triangle. Thank you so much for joining us here on your Thursday morning. We have a lot to share with you. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Ken Smith on your chilly Thursday morning.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, the WRAL Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
It's such a pretty start to the day. We're going to take a look here at downtown Raleigh from our Jimmy V camera, looking down Fayetteville Street. Lots and lots of sunshine. All the people that I've seen walking around, of course, are in, a jacket or a hoodie. You don't have to worry about the big heavy coat like we saw yesterday when it was so chilly. But 55 is our temperature. Not bad at all. Temperatures this afternoon will be a little cooler than yesterday, but still very comfortable. Almost everybody checking in the mid 50s. It is a little warmer, 58 in Rocky Mount, a little bit cooler in Clinton at 52. But looking good out there. Our temperatures are around 5 to 10, even in some places near 15 degrees warmer than they were this time yesterday. A nice afternoon, less windy, but a little cooler with mid 60s. We have a complicated weekend coming up. We have 3 different chances for rain, but not a washout, and then some Arctic air that rolls in. I'll show you all of that coming up.
All right, Elizabeth, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown on US 1 right around Highway 55 coming in from Apex this morning. That's the exit lane to Williams Road there on those southbound lanes. So if you're getting ready to leave the house this morning, you're at Apex, you're looking at a 7-minute delay. So keep that in mind. We're looking at seeing a little bit of a slowdown on I-40 eastbound this morning around Aviation Parkway to Wade Avenue. You're coming in from Durham, you're looking at a 9-minute delay. Similarly, if you're coming in on US 1 from Wake Forest, you're looking at a 9-minute delay as well. Things have gotten a lot better on I-87. You're looking at a 6-minute delay. The southern loop of the Beltline is part of your morning commute. We're talking Lake Wheeler Road, Rock Quarry Road, that type thing. You're looking at an 8-minute delay. You're coming in from Garner, Johnston County. No delays whatsoever between Highway 36 and the Beltline. Now, many of you use that northern loop of the Beltline. Here's what you're looking at. Boy, we're seeing a real jam session between the I-87 440 Beltline split right there over to Capitol Boulevard, Six Forks Road, all congested right now. You're looking at a 22-minute delay. So you might want to take I-540 as an alternate route to avoid the Beltline at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. This morning, we are expecting to learn new information that could cause delays to your holiday travel. This is a live look at RDU right now. The FAA will announce today whether RDU will be on a list of airports that will have flights cut because of the government shutdown.
Well, Michelle, the agency says it will cancel 10% of all flights at 40 of the nation's busiest airports starting Friday. That's if the government shutdown continues. Now, the FAA says this could affect up to 5,000 flights all across the country. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says this decision is based on safety because of staffing shortages and fatigue among air traffic controllers.
Some of those who don't show up continue to not show up, which means we have those who come to work, they're working longer hours, they're working more days. And that's some of the pressure that we're seeing on them, and we want to alleviate that pressure before it would become an issue.
About 13,000 air traffic controllers have been working without pay for weeks, and many have been forced to get a second job to make ends meet. Officials say as the shutdown continues, they may increase or reduce the restrictions of flights if needed.
And as we continue to follow this story, now is a great time to pull out your phone and download the WRAL News app. Also be sure to turn on your push notifications so you can know if RDU is included in those flight cuts as soon as the list of airports is released.
Well, the Trump administration now says people who receive SNAP benefits will get more money this month than previously announced. Benefits will now go out at 65% of the regular rate. That's up from 50% when it was first announced. Let's get to Ali Katlabar. She's live at the Interfaith Food Shuttle Farm in Raleigh. Ali, today the organization is holding a national ag conference to address this issue of food insecurity.
And Ken, that conference started yesterday here at the farm. This is where they grow produce and distribute it to people in need. This is what they're going to be talking about during this conference, how to make food like this accessible to everyone. And the Interfaith Food Shuttle is bringing together local farmers, food banks, healthcare providers, and national organizations. They're going to be talking about ways to fight food insecurity. It's a problem we're seeing at an all-time high right now, and food banks are seeing record numbers. The government shut down, suspended SNAP benefits, but the state says that people will receive part of those benefits next week. Food banks in the Triangle say people are worried that won't be enough.
But I think that people are anticipating that there's going to be a hiccup, and they're stockpiling or, pulling in some supplies just in case. And so we're seeing a lot of new customers.
WRAL.com has a list of resources if you need them. Also, if you scan that QR code, it'll take you to ways that you can help. That conference is today and tomorrow. It's at the Sheraton Raleigh Hotel, and we're going to be following this. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
A big step forward for mental health care in Wake County. Today, Wake Med is breaking ground on a new mental health hospital in Garner. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the site in Garner to explain why medical leaders say this expansion comes at a critical time for North Carolina.
Today, Wake Med will break ground on this 53 acres here behind me. You can see that there's some setup that's already underway for an event that's happening later this morning. This area will be transformed into a new mental health hospital. This land that you're seeing on your screen is right across the street from White Oak Crossing. This will be the home of the new health campus. Wake Med sees an average of 1,200 patients every month for mental health needs. About 400 of them require inpatient care. Right now, there are only enough beds for about half of those patients. Hospital leaders say this new campus could help fill in the gap.
If someone showed up in the emergency room with a heart attack or a broken leg, and we said, hey, great, thanks for coming in, that'll be 2 weeks before you get to treatment, that's really unheard of. But that's what happens every single day for someone who's experiencing a mental health challenge.
The groundbreaking is scheduled to start this morning at 10 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Garner.
Well, this morning, newly released dash cam video shows the moments before that UPS cargo plane crashed at Louisville's airport. Take a look at your screen. It could be difficult to watch for some of you. You can see the plane missing its left engine before it hits the ground and bursts into flames. Airport CCTV captured the moment the engine came off the wing. NTSB board members Todd Ingram says that video will help investigators piece together exactly what happened.
It gives us a much better picture of what was happening before you start to see the fire and before the detachment actually occurs.
The NTSB recovered that left engine in between two runways yesterday. Investigators say they've also recovered the plane's black boxes. This morning, the death toll stands at 12 and 16 others are still missing. Also, both Duke and UNC's field hockey teams are in Louisville for the ACC tournament. Their game was postponed. They'll play each other today at 11.
All right, so I'm here in the WRAL Live Center, and I'm looking at a possible list of airports that could be affected regarding reduced flights. We heard from the Transportation Secretary talking about how that was a possibility because of a reduced amount of air traffic controllers. This is from the NBC station in Chicago. And again, I'm saying possible list because we're only seeing NBC reporting this, no other sources just yet. But if you notice right here, one of the airports, Charlotte Douglas International, that would obviously affect those who are flying out of RDU there. And this is actually a map that NBC News put up on the Today Show today, showing the different airports I just mentioned there, obviously Chicago being one of them that I just showed you from their page. And one last thing I want to show you, this is from a website called flightconnections.com. It's pointed right now on RDU, and it just shows you the different places where you can fly from for RDU. So once that official list is out, we'll be sure to, of course, verify and then report it here, because we know that this is definitely going to affect people's travel for the Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays.
It absolutely will. Thank you, Chris. Well, only on WRAL, a Cary man wants justice after being shot in the head. Steve Ford was shot back on September 16th. This happened in the parking lot of UNC Health at Panther Creek. Kareem Swain was there for his newborn son's appointment when his ex-girlfriend's dad showed up. The two both ended up holding guns in the parking lot. Ford says that he was shot in the back of the head, while Swain says it was face-to-face. Swain was taken into custody and released. And now 50 days later, neither man is behind bars for that shooting.
I would like the DA to explain to her why the man that shot her father in the head is not arrested.
Do you feel like you did the right thing?
In my opinion, yes. Cause my intention wasn't to, to go there, But at the end of the day, I gotta protect myself.
Ford says detectives have told him there is no video of the shooting. From where Swain was parked, a tree and a pillar blocked it from a surveillance camera on one side of the building.
Well, this morning, flags are flying at half-staff in honor of Vice President Dick Cheney. This is a live look at the state legislative building in Raleigh. Governor Stein ordering all flags to be lowered at state government buildings until Cheney is buried. He died Tuesday morning at the age of 84. A Fayetteville woman is pressing state lawmakers to ban the harmful practice of fertility fraud. Summer McKesson discovered 3 years ago her biological father was Duke fertility doctor Charles Peete. Peete apparently used his own sperm on patients seeking fertility treatment without their knowledge. McKesson's mother was one of them. That's legal under North Carolina's law. Now, McKesson sent a letter to top lawmakers asking them to ban fertility fraud and give victims the chance to sue.
Clearly, there are doctors that are taking advantage of this and have taken advantage of it. And so let's just put that protection in place. So there's not even a question of where the lines should be drawn here.
Well, Dr. Charles Peete died in 2013. Duke previously told WRAL the hospital has procedures in place now to prevent fertility fraud from happening.
UNC football coach Bill Belichick made a name for himself coaching in the NFL, and now he is one step closer to football's highest honor. Coach Belichick is one of 9 former head coaches who are semifinalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. A committee will meet in 2 weeks to discuss who will be finalists for the Hall. Belichick has the second most wins of any coach in NFL history. Still ahead, child care centers in crisis. What new data tells us about how many have closed in the state just this fall and what needs to be done to fix that problem.
And ahead at 8:30, rising cancer rates. The American Lung Association says lung cancer is hitting North Carolinians especially hard, leading factor for all age groups.
And last night's dry front has set us up for some nice weather today. But over the weekend, we'll have 3 chances for rain and then some frigid temperatures. I'll walk you through it coming up. 8:15 is beautiful in Boone right now, but all the fall color is gone. As a matter of fact, they're all dressed up for winter. Look at that. They've got their snowflakes out on the light posts. Our mountain forecast, though, doesn't feel like winter for Saturday. Looking at Boone at 63, 71 in Asheville. There's going to be a small chance for rain on and off over the mountains Saturday and Sunday. Sunday will be a little cooler, 62 in Asheville and 55 in Boone. And then our current rip current danger is actually low. It is definitely not swimming season, however. But we take a look at Saturday along the coast. Same story. Feeling comfortable. New Bern at 77, 76 at Wrightsville Beach. A small chance of some showers late on Saturday and again late on Sunday, but not a washout. Feeling comfortable Sunday with Ocean Isle at 78 and Emerald Isle at 73. And of course, we are looking at some quiet conditions at least now, but over the weekend we'll have 3 separate chances for rain. We'll walk through it coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, we're seeing some major slowdown on that northern loop of the Beltline as we take a live look at I-440 and New Bern Avenue. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic this morning. As we widen out the view, this is what we're talking about. From the I-87 440 split all the way to Capitol Boulevard, you see a little bit of jam up there. It clears up just a little bit, and then around Six Forks Road, you're looking at a 17-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline, so keep that in mind. We're checking that southern loop as well. Right now, you're just looking at a 6-minute delay. And if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, Highway 36 to the Beltline, no delays whatsoever at this hour.
Looking ahead, Raleigh will soon have a new affordable housing community. City Council approved plans for the development today. It'll be called Forward Together. And here is a rendering. The project calls for 17 affordable housing units at the Healing Transitions Women's Campus. It's for women and mothers who have recently completed recovery programs and are ready to start rebuilding their lives. North Carolina is losing a startling amount of child care providers. New data shows that in August alone, more than 47 closed. In the same month, only about half as many opened. And it's a trend other child care providers worry will only get worse. Cassandra Brooks is the director of Little Believers Academy, and she says in recent years, there's been less support from the state. And with rising costs to operate facilities like hers, paying the bills is more challenging. Brooks thinks that number will only grow.
Especially as we get to the end of the year, I have a few people that I know already said, after this year, this is it. So they're just trying to, take the families through December.
We asked state officials what they're doing to support facilities like it, and they say it starts with state legislators. Child care advocates lobbied for additional funding in this budget session. With budget negotiations stalled out, these providers are left in limbo. And tonight, WRAL investigates how to make sure your child care is safe. This after a toddler died at an unlicensed local daycare. We'll explain why no arrest was made until we got involved. That story is tonight at 6.
The Trump administration could announce a deal with pharmaceutical companies today. Reports suggest the deal would be the companies offering cheaper weight loss drugs. It includes Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. The deal would make the drugs as low as $149 a month. It would also clear the way for Medicare to cover drugs for certain people. United Airlines offering refunds to travelers who decide not to fly during the government restrictions on air travel. The Department of Transportation plans to reduce U.S. flights by 10% all across 40 major airports starting Friday if the shutdown continues. The announcement sent major carriers scrambling to adjust schedules over the coming days. United says its customers can get a full refund for as long as any restrictions are in place, even if their flight isn't directly affected.
Looking ahead, Starbucks union members say they're ready to strike next week. Members voted to walk out of stores in at least 25 cities, but exact locations were not disclosed. The large gap in CEO to worker pay is a key point in their contract demands. The strike is set to begin November 13th, which is also the coffee chain's Red Cup Day launch for the holiday season. Well, both the Powerball and Mega Millions jackpots keep growing. No one won the Powerball last night, so that jackpot for the next drawing on Saturday, $467 million. The Mega Millions is $843 million. The next drawing for that prize will be tomorrow night. You can watch each of those drawings right here on WRAL before our 11 o'clock news. Well, the Outer Banks Marathon scheduled for this weekend has been canceled because of the government shutdown. It typically includes a fun run, a 5K, an 8K, half marathon, and a marathon. Local leaders say they don't have enough people for on-site road closures and crowd control.
All right, we're here at the WRAL Severe Weather Center with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Perfect, Fenton, the ice rink, perfect for the weather we have coming.
Yeah, foreshadowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see some cold temperatures by early next week. Fairly mild between now and then. Skating actually begins tomorrow. And look at it. Looks like they're out there kind of putting the finishing touches on things. You can see some fall leaves out there on that skating rink right now. Here's where the cold air is going to begin to come from. We have a system that's back here across the west, and that will slide eastward and open the door to some cold air from Canada coming in. Really our first blast of cold air that we'll see. Now ahead of it, we'll have 3 different chances for rain. We'll kick things off Friday here at 5 o'clock with Futurecast. Friday will be partly cloudy, but late at night into early Saturday morning, there'll be a wave of rain that rolls through. This is 4:30 Saturday morning. We'll move it ahead, and Saturday during the day looks fine. This is 9 a.m. The rain is over, and we'll see partly cloudy skies Saturday. But again, Saturday night, another wave of rain. Watch what happens back to the north and west. 11 p.m. p.m. on Saturday. We're seeing some rain in our northern counties. It slides eastward, and it's done by 6 a.m. on Sunday. This is the best kind of rain, right? Mostly happens overnight. And then Sunday, we'll actually have a couple of waves come through. Starting closer to lunchtime, we may see a little band of showers, but this is likely to be the bigger one. Closer to 3:30 or 4 is when we'll have the cold front come through, and we could have a few rumbles of thunder with that. It's likely to be mid to late afternoon and then moving on out. So again, late Friday night, late Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon into the evening. Those will be our best chances for rain. How about a little bit of snow in the mountains? That would be amazing, right? We could see as much as an inch or more of snow. That's a brand new model that running at 80% chance up and down the mountains of an inch of snow. We have a good chance of our first freeze on Monday night into Tuesday morning. This is a look at our wind chill. Monday, wind chill at noon is in the upper 30s to low 40s. That's noon on Monday. And then, of course, as you're headed home on Monday evening, temperatures are going to feel like mid to upper 30s, but of course, Tuesday morning, it feels even colder. Tuesday morning's low is 29, but it could feel as cold as 22 or 23 across parts of our area. It will be nice and mild over the weekend with those highs in the mid 70s, but early next week, highs are back into the low 50s, Ken.
Oh, mercifully, we don't have to bundle up the kids on Tuesday, Veterans Day. So listen, here's what we're looking at, that northern loop of the Beltline. We're seeing some bumper-to-bumper traffic, quite a bit of a slowdown. This is usual part of the morning commute that we see. Right now, you're looking at really the jam up is really between I-87 and the 440 split all the way over the Capitol Boulevard. It clears up just a little bit around Six Forks Road, and then it just gets jammed up again around Glenwood Avenue. So again, you're looking at a 13-minute delay. That's southern loop of the Beltline. Right now, you're looking at an 8-minute delay. We're talking Lake Wheeler Road, Rock Quarry. But if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County this morning, no delays between Highway 36 and the Beltline. More weather and traffic news after the break.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Another chilly start, but another beautiful day ahead. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous all across our area. We take a look at all the cameras. We see all the sunshine, including Chapel Hill, of course. Temperatures not bad this morning, upper 40s to upper 50s. Look at this, 48 in Cary, but 58 in Rocky Mount, 57 in Goldsboro, and 53 in Fayetteville. So feeling good this morning, a little warmer than it was this time yesterday. It'll be a nice mild afternoon, not as windy, but not quite as warm. Highs will be in the mid 60s, and we're looking at nice, dry, mild conditions again tomorrow, Ken.
Elizabeth, we continue to monitor that northern loop of the Beltline where we're seeing the usual congestion that we see during the morning and the slowdowns right now. As we widen out the view, give you a look at the big picture. Really and truly, the jam up is really happening between the I-87 440 split all the way to Capitol Boulevard. It clears up just a little bit around Six Forks Road and then gets jammed up again around Glenwood Avenue. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out this morning. That's southern loop of the Beltline. You're looking at an 8-minute delay, but if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County on I-40 westbound, it's delay-free at this hour.
Thanks, Ken. Today, the FAA will announce whether RDU will be on a list of airports that will have flights cut because of the government shutdown. The agency says it will cancel 10% of all flights at 40 of the nation's busiest airports starting tomorrow. That's if the government shutdown continues. And this morning, a Raleigh nonprofit holding a conference to talk about ways to fight food insecurity. Interfaith Food Shuttle bringing together local farmers, food banks, and national organizations to talk about food accessibility. This comes amid the ongoing government shutdown and concerns with SNAP benefits. Next on Fox 50, WakeMed breaking ground on a new facility specifically to help with your mental health.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Our next weather maker moving on through, making way for lots of sunshine and mild temperatures for the next couple of days. But another front will do the opposite over the weekend. I'll show you that.
Also, flight cuts. The FAA is reducing air traffic by 10% because of the government shutdown. But we're learning about how that may affect RD International and the airport in Charlotte.
And SNAP boost people who receive food assistance will get more help this month. The changes and how it could impact families here at home.
And new help coming. Wake County getting a major boost in mental health care, how it could ease the strain on local hospitals and patients. Thank you so much for joining us here at 8:30. Lots to share with you. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey, including the weather forecast. Walked outside and you needed the jacket this morning. Yeah, just a little bit, but you'll be able to get rid of it again later this afternoon. Meteorologist Elizabeth Garner with a look over Fayetteville Street.
It's pretty out here. Taking a live look at downtown Raleigh from our Jimmy V camera down Fayetteville Street. It's a little bit breezy, but you know, often it is breezy down Fayetteville Street. The flags are moving around the tree a little bit too, but winds are fairly light, up to around 3 to 5 miles per hour. It's 55, so temperatures are warming up nicely. Even though we had a front come through yesterday, we're going to see mild temperatures today. 55 in Southern Pines, 57 Goldsboro, 55 right now in South Hill. We're running anywhere from 5 to around 10 degrees warmer than yesterday. But our temperatures this afternoon will be a touch cooler, highs in the mid 60s. The wind won't be as strong, so it should feel fairly similar. We do have 3 chances for rain over the weekend, and then a big drop in temperatures. We'll go over all of that. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, that northern loop of the Beltline, we're still seeing that heavy congestion that we see this time of the morning. So I just want to let you know, just in case that's part of your morning commute, as we widen out the view, here's what you're looking at. Really, the jam up becomes between the 87-440 split right between Capitol Boulevard. It clears up just a little bit and gets jammed up again around Six Forks and Glenwood Avenue. You're looking at some delays there. That southern loop of the Beltline, similarly, we're seeing a 7-minute delay right now. That's on Rock Quarry Road, Lake Wheeler Road, Gorman Street is what we're talking about. But if you're coming in from Gardner, Johnston County this morning, no delays whatsoever between Highway 36 and the Beltline. We're keeping an eye on this US 1 in Apex, the northbound lanes. Often we see a congestion building right now. Traffic is flowing nicely coming in from Apex on US 1. So that's really good news as we give you a look at some of the drive times coming in. Just a 5-minute delay if you're coming in from Apex. 7 minutes if you're coming in from Durham this morning, I-40 East. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown around Aviation Parkway. Our friends in Wake Forest, you're looking at a 7-minute delay coming south on US 1 Capitol Boulevard. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Time is 8:33 here in the WRAL Live Center. You know, I'm keeping my eye right now on this NBC News article from Chicago. Essentially, it has this list of possible airports that could be on the list of cuts that they'll be seeing in terms of flights, and this could affect quite a few people when they're trying to plan their holiday travel. On this list, I see Charlotte Douglas International, and so I think that's pretty significant. I kept on scrolling here, and you don't see RDU on there, but in terms of will this be updated to be confirmed, that's what we're trying to see. And the only reason I'm saying this is because only NBC is reporting this. We're trying to hear from the actual, the FAA about what airports we can expect to be affected. I do want to also show you this list from NBC News. They just had this on the Today Show not too long ago, showing the different ones of possible airports that could be affected. So we're going to watch to see when that list officially comes out. Obviously, we're going to talk about how that may impact any travelers through RDU. As soon as we have that information, we'll report it here on WRAL News.
All right, thank you, Chris. The Trump administration is adjusting how much families who receive SNAP benefits will get this month. Benefits will now go out at 65% of the regular rate. That's up from the 50% that was announced yesterday. WRAL's Ali Calabar is at the Interfaith Food Shuttle Farm in Raleigh, where leaders from across the U.S. are gathering to talk about food assistance.
And that conference started right here at the farm yesterday. This is where the Interfaith Food Shuttle grows produce and distributes it to people in need. This is what they're going to be talking about today, how to make food like this accessible to everyone. And the Interfaith Food Shuttle is bringing together local farmers, food banks, healthcare providers, and organizations from across the country. They're going to be talking about ways to fight food insecurity. It's a problem we're seeing at an all-time high right now. Food banks are seeing record numbers. The government shutdown suspended SNAP benefits, and the state says people will receive part of those benefits next week. The CEO and president of the Interfaith Food Shuttle says families are still having to ask themselves tough questions.
Make a choice. Of your children, which one are you going to feed tonight? Which one of your children are you going to give food? Those are the type of choices that so many families have to make right here in North Carolina.
And if you would like to help, WRAL.com has a link with resources and ways you can help, as well as resources if you need them. You can also scan this QR code on your screen. As for that conference, it's today and tomorrow in downtown Raleigh. We're going to be following this. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
A big step forward for mental health care in Wake County. Today, Wake Med is breaking ground on a new mental health hospital in Garner. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at that site in Garner to explain why medical leaders say this expansion is critical right now in our state.
Today, Wake Med will break ground on this 53 acres here behind me. You can see that there's some setup that's already underway for an event that's happening later this morning. This area will be transformed into a new mental health hospital. This land that you're seeing on your screen is right across the street from White Oak Crossing. This will be the home of the new health campus. Wake Med sees an average of 1,200 patients every month for mental health needs. About 400 of them require inpatient care. Right now, there are only enough beds for about half of those patients. Hospital leaders say this new campus could help fill in the gap.
If someone showed up in the emergency room with a heart attack or a broken leg, and we said, hey, great, thanks for coming in, that'll be 2 weeks before you get to treatment, that's really unheard of. But that's what happens every single day for someone who's experiencing a mental health challenge.
The groundbreaking is scheduled to start this morning at 10 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Garner.
Well, we're monitoring developments in the investigation into the deadly UPS plane crash in Louisville. Here's what we know so far. Officials say the plane's left engine caught fire during takeoff and detached, causing the crash. Investigators recovered the black boxes, the cockpit voice, and the flight data recorders. 12 people are now confirmed dead, including a child. 2 others remain in critical condition. 16 other people are still missing. The coroners are working to identify the victims. Now, both Duke and UNC's field hockey teams are in Louisville for the ACC tournament. Their game was postponed. They'll play each other today at 11 o'clock. Well, Governor Josh Stein is doubling down. He's refusing to send National Guard troops to Charlotte. Representative Mark Harris and other state lawmakers sent a letter to the governor. They are demanding that Guard troops be sent to help with crime in Charlotte. The letter ends with this statement asking why the governor refuses to do it. Well, we reached out to the governor's office for a response, and this is what we received back. Local, well-trained law enforcement officers who live and know their communities are best equipped to keep North Carolina neighborhoods safe, not military service members.
Happening today, Durham leaders want to hear from you about a plan to permanently close part of Hayti Lane. That's east of Old Fayetteville Street. The proposal would shut down part of that road. You can share your thoughts about this during the Citizens Matter session. That's at 1 p.m. today. And the State Board of Education will also meet today. It's the final day of a 3-day work session. The first 2 days were planning meetings held every year, and today they will go over policies they plan to send to lawmakers. State Superintendent Mo Green will also present his findings after touring schools across the state.
Covering Lee County, the government center will be closed to the public for days because of a scheduled power outage. It will be closed from Friday till Tuesday. This affects the public health, social services, and tax department. Limited in-person services will be available at alternative locations. The government center will reopen next Wednesday. Serious allegations. A North Carolina woman says a Raleigh motel turned a blind eye and even helped her sex traffickers. What the lawsuit claims and how state law aims to prevent it.
And hidden holiday costs. The price of keeping your kitchen spotless could surprise you. 5 on Your Side shows you how to save before you stock up on those cleaning supplies.
All right, heading outside, we'll give you a live look at Lake Gaston this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explains the cooler start and the warmer weekend on tap for us.
8:42. It's a nice start out there this morning. Temperatures have climbed into the 50s almost everywhere. 55 in Durham and Raleigh, 53 in Fayetteville. You can see right here at Western Boulevard some pretty trees there, colors popping out. And of course, the Lucky Strike Tower there, downtown Durham. Our temperatures will climb into the mid-60s this afternoon. If your kids have practice right after school, it should feel very comfortable. If it's a little bit later in the evening, say around 6 or 7, temperatures will be in the low to mid-50s. We are looking at a fairly mild weekend in our forecast. A couple chances for rain. I'll walk you through those coming up. Ken?
Well, it's with congestion. It's definitely beginning to ease up on this northern loop of the Beltline. You can see it right here as we look live at I-440 and New Bern Avenue. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us. As we widen out the view in terms of that northern loop of the Beltline, here's what we're looking at. It really gets clogged up around Capitol Boulevard, and it clears up around Six Forks Road, and then you get around Glenwood Avenue. You're seeing about a 6-minute delay. That southern loop of the Beltline, just a 7-minute delay as well. If you're using Wade Avenue to get to Durham this morning, you're looking at a 3-minute delay at this hour.
Ken, I want to pull our viewers' attention here into the WRAL Live Center. One of our producers, Mimi, she made me aware of this over our feeds a little bit ago. This is on NBC News, and it's a satellite image of a before and then an after image of the impact from that UPS cargo plane that crashed in Louisville's airport there. You should see the after here in just a second, but you see that right there, the aftermath, and that's just one perspective. There's another one that's going to load up here in just a moment. The company Vantor owns the satellites that are able to take these photos, and it's just, I don't know, it's breathtaking to see from 1 minute and the next what happened as a result of that. And we're talking about, again, 12 people who died at last check as a result of this crash. There's a video that's also been going around. We've shown people that one of the engines had fallen off. It was missing by the time of impact. But this, I mean, just looking at this, wow.
Yeah, it's terrible. All right, thank you, Chris. Well, North Carolina will receive more federal funding for Tropical Storm Helene relief. Homeland Security approved $155 million for people who the storm affected across the Southeast. It's not clear how much of that money is for North Carolina. Governor Stein celebrated the move, though, but said more work needs to be done. And getting funding to North Carolina has not been easy. We outlined the struggle between the state and the federal government over recovery money. That was the latest subject of our documentary, Helene, What We Lost, What We Found. You can watch it right now on the WRAL YouTube page.
This morning, we're getting a close-up look at a repair effort in Baltimore after the bridge collapsed last year. You remember that, right? The piles are being driven into the bed of the river. That's where they want to put the foundation. 2 of the East Coast's largest rotating cranes are at the site of the rebuild. Engineers say they've driven out 8 of the 12 piles so far. The foundation phase of the project should be completed by early January.
A woman accuses the staff at a Motel 6 in Raleigh of not only knowing she was sex trafficked as a minor, they helped the traffickers. The motel is on Appliance Drive. The lawsuit states the victim was advertised online and numerous men and women sexually abused her. It also alleges that motel staff acted as lookouts and alerted the traffickers to police activity. These allegations are a violation of several North Carolina laws. Those require property managers and establishments to have procedures to report human trafficking and teach employees how to spot it.
There's a national survivor study that Polaris put out some years ago. And in that study, survivors self-reported that 75% of them had encountered hotels during their exploitation. And that makes sense when we think about, especially with sexual exploitation, that usually occurs on site at the hotels.
The plaintiff is demanding a jury trial and is also seeking an undisclosed amount in damages.
A former state elections official is accused of trying to drug his granddaughter's ice cream must now wear an ankle monitor. Prosecutors say James Yokley also tried to contact his granddaughter despite a court order. His attorneys claim he was at his daughter's home moving things while the granddaughter was at school. A judge changed his release order so that Yokley is not allowed near the alleged victims' homes. Yokley resigned as Surrey County's elections chair shortly after this summer's arrest.
One unexpected cost that could quickly add up this holiday season, kitchen cleaning products. 5 on your side's Ashley Rose shares what you need to know before filling your cart with those costly cleaning supplies.
Cleaning the kitchen, let's face it, might not be your favorite job, but Consumer Reports says buying products that actually work can keep you from wasting money on ones that don't. CR's product testers make a mess in their labs and sometimes in their own homes to help you find the best choice for your kitchen and your wallet. CR says Mr. Clean's Clean Freak Spray is the best choice for managing mealtime messes like splattered cooking oil or dripping syrup. On a store brand budget, Walmart's Great Value Cleaner tackles every job but shines brightest when cleaning glass. Testers say Sprayway's foam glass cleaner actually does double duty as a multi-purpose option for chrome, tile, and porcelain, on top of cleaning mirrors and other glass where it dries in a flash. Are paper towels your cleaning tool of choice? For that, CR likes Bounty Select Size for its impressive scrubbing strength. And to clean with less waste, this scrubby sponge is soft enough to clean wine glasses, but tough enough for more difficult jobs. Method's all-purpose wipes make cleanup quick when relatives are coming over. And while all-purpose wipes can remove gunk, they can't sanitize surfaces. So for that, Target's store brand disinfecting wipes are a great budget option. And this dense magic eraser sponge didn't rip or warp no matter what job we threw its way. Finally, to keep your floors squeaky clean, CR says Mop Glow 3-in-1 did a solid job on hardwood, ceramic, and laminate flooring. And it was one of the best for removing scuffs, too. Now stand back and watch your kitchen sparkle. Ashley Rowe, 5 on your side.
Every 2 minutes, someone in the U.S. is diagnosed with lung cancer. That's according to new data released yesterday by the American Lung Association. The 8th annual report found North Carolina sees more lung cancer diagnoses than national averages. Despite having a higher risk, the report found less than 20% of North Carolinians at high risk were screened.
We really need to protect, insurance coverage and access to affordable health care for those patients in rural areas.
High risk is defined as a person between 50 and 80 years old with 20 or more years of heavy smoking. Tobacco use remains the leading risk factor for lung cancer. Time now for a look at what's trending. Are you expecting a little one to join your family soon? I promise I didn't ask the producers to make my line.
Me?
I don't know. There's a list out of the most popular baby names you might want to consider.
Baby Center has released its ranking of the most popular names for newborns in 2025. The top girls' names, Olivia and Noah, is the most popular for boys. That's the same as last year as for the number 2 names, Amelia and Liam.
And also, Michelle, there were 2 new entries on the girls' top 10, Ileana and Aurora. Now, for the boys, Luca rejoined the top 10 after falling off the list last year, pushing out Leo. Babysitter based its rankings on more than 350,000 babies born to parents registered on its app.
The Trump administration sending $24 million to countries that were damaged during Hurricane Melissa. That's $12 million for Jamaica, $8.5 million for Haiti, $3 million for Cuba, and $500,000 for the Bahamas. The money will be used for housing, water, food, sanitation, and emergency health care. All of those areas in desperate need of that right now. All right, I'm with meteorologist Liz Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. This was hard to miss.
It was
oh my gosh,
pretty.
Beautiful.
This morning, yesterday it was actually full, but it was so pretty overnight last night and this morning as well. So thank you to our senior producer, one of our senior producers, Scott Nagel, who took that video for us. And then Rebecca Bone from Lewisburg makes it look like Halloween out there. It was interesting as the moon rose last night. There was just a little bit of high, thin cloud cover out there, and it was beautiful in terms of the color. It's a nice start this morning. We take a live look from our Jimmy V camera down Fayetteville Street, where it's 55 degrees. So it's nice and mild. It's 58 in Holly Springs, 55 Knightdale, 55 in Durham, still 47 in Chapel Hill, but we're warming up nicely. Some low 60s already down in some of our southern towns. 66 in Raleigh, 65 Durham, 68 Fayetteville. Those are highs for today. Should be comfortable for tailgating ahead of the Canes game. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper, should be actually, low 60s, upper 50s at tailgating time. And then when you head out of the arena later in the evening, 48, so it'll be a little on the chilly side. Temperatures will keep on dropping overnight into the mid to upper 30s for most of us, and that means some patchy frost is possible. But we have even colder weather on the way for next week. After a nice mild weekend, we're going to see some frosty conditions all across the viewing area and a deep freeze, first one that we've seen so far this season. 72 Friday, 77 Saturday, 75 Sunday, so it's nice and mild over the weekend. But this next weather maker back to the west will eventually start to push our way and bring us a better chance for rain. And then a big drop in temperatures from 75 Sunday afternoon to 29 on Tuesday morning. 43 is our normal low, so that 29 is well below normal. Even the upper 30s are a little below normal. So this is a look at our first hard freeze. We'll see mid to upper 20s all across the viewing area for Tuesday morning. Checking temperatures again, nice and mild over the weekend, but the afternoon highs will be chilly also Monday and Tuesday. Veterans Day high only 51.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic next.